Fuck it, yo. I'm gonna take what the fuck I can get right now, yo. This shit took way too long to set up. And it was already set up. What kind of shit is that? So, this is Mind Frame Elevator. If you've been subscribed for a while, waiting on me to do my thing, I apologize. And I am also appreciative of you. I be having a lot on my plate, and this been on my plate for a minute, waiting for consumption, and I just been letting it marinate in its own juices. It's the best way I can explain it. You know, because inaction is action as well, right? But that ain't what I'm here to talk about tonight, or this morning, or whatever you may be at right now. I want to touch on fear for our first live stream. Coming off the elevator. Fear. Fear is it is something that it seems like, you know, misconstrued in the world as far as like what his purpose is. Every time you bring up fear, most people say you need to get rid of it, banish all fear. I remember watching a program the other day, I think it's called The Garden, where they went and built a tower, and the tower was maybe like 20 feet tall, at least 20, 30 feet tall, and on and wooden letters or wooden planks, they made letters in the words fear. There was a fear tower, and their purpose was to write all their fears to it and burn it to the ground to like symbolically get rid of their fear, right? In the immediate thought, that sounds like a good idea, right? I mean, I suppose, I'm not gonna say it wasn't, but the whole concept that you have to do all that to get rid of your fear, I feel like is a bit much, and I feel like you misunderstanding what fear is for. Fear is a tool of intelligence, to put it short and sweet. I mean, having fear in all things obviously can be crippling, right? If you fear everything, you won't leave the house. You won't leave the bed. But strategically placed fear, or calculated fear, or, you know, practically placed fear, this is really what I'm looking for here, is intelligence. It's something in your brain, in your made up in your hormones. You have a fear hormone, a fear, you know, your nervous system is tied to that shit. Why would you try to get rid of that? You gotta have it for a reason, right? One of the most famous sayings is, you know, everything has its place. I will alter that and say most everything does have its place. I can probably name a couple that don't. They're here, and that shit is a mutation of just life in general. But I'm gonna go off camera a little bit while I smoke. I don't know if they're gonna ban this video just because I'm smoking. You don't know what I'm smoking. I could be smoking anything. You know, this could be CBD. It is. Let's just say it is, right? You see my lips, you know what I do. But, yeah. Knowing what to fear and what not to fear is the exact opposite of overall fear. Knowing what not to fear is freeing. Knowing what to fear is freeing. Think about it, what I'm saying. If you can walk outside and you know what to fear overall compared to everyone else, don't you think you got a leg up? You would operate completely with a leg up from that point forward, right? If you know what to fear. And you just didn't have these randomized fears of things. Fear of the unknown is always going to be there because you just don't know, right? But you listen to a lot of like great musicians and great performers, and I'm only bringing them up because when you think about fear, like those people in our minds, normally you would think they've mastered fear or they have no fear. But no, most of them, when you hear them in interviews and stuff, nah. They say things to the effect of, I harness my fear, or I put my fear to the side, or I do something to change how I'm perceiving my fear within myself. Like the whole, looking at the, thinking, envisioning the audience being naked, shit like that, comedians say. The Bible speaks about fear. Most people's favorite verse, though, is, the Lord didn't give me the spirit of fear. God doesn't give the spirit of fear. But if you know a little bit more Bible than that, you also know there's a verse that says, fearing the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. That is a specific fear, a practical fear. And if you really think about that alone, it is. If you if you believe in God, you don't even got to call him God. You can call it the universe if it make you more comfortable. I believe in God, but hey, if you want to call it, the powers that be. Being more afraid of something that controls everything, I feel like is a better use of your time, so to speak. And God kind of thinks so too when he says, fearing the God is the beginning of wisdom. When most people think of God, the Lord, it's all fuzzy, you know what I'm saying? Love, this, that, and the third. You know, God does love. That is the ultimate conversation of the Bible. But fear has its place. And he literally told you that you won't begin wisdom until you fear God. Why would he say that? Right? Unless fear has its place. So everybody telling you that, get away from fear and all this, that you need to know. What are you fearing? Break these fears down. Why do you fear it? Why are you afraid of such things? I'm gonna tell you right now, my biggest fear is the Lord once I understood what that verse meant. Because when you really get into the book, you understand that God controlled, like, I'm saying God control everything, but when people say that, you don't think about everything. Oh yeah, he controls both sides of the game. I mean, think about it. One of the most famous stories in the book is Job. Before Job went through all that stuff, what happened, right? They called a meeting of the whole of the entire, spirit realm. God and the devil before, the angels, and God, the devil basically saying, hey, look, what I'm saying, the last few times after these, this human creation, I feel like you basically made a mistake, so to speak. Just summing up what's going on since before Job. The devil is basically trying to prove to God, you made a mistake putting these humans above us. Do you know we rank higher than the angels, technically? And Job, the devil has to ask permission from God to do anything. That's how it operates. That's how everything works. When the Bible says, the devil goes roaming the earth like a roaring lion, looking looking to see whom he may devour, he has to ask permission. Meaning that all trials and tribulations are allowed. It's right here in front of you. People out here thinking that the devil just be out here running loose. No, he not. How can you say that if you gonna also say God is all powerful? How is he all powerful if he don't control both sides? I don't know, man. Maybe fear the powers that be more than you fear things, people, ideas, concepts. Because you can't even be wise until you get there. Knowing what to fear. The absence of fear don't have to be courage. It could be indifference. You don't have to walk around here with an S in your chest for everything. Also, don't quiver at every challenge. Especially as a man. You need to be looking for a challenge every week if your life not if your life not challenging enough. As a man, shit, most of us, all of us dealing with something. Being a man is hard. Being a man is scary. Being a man so hard and scary. A group of men left and said, "Fuck this shit. We gonna be girl. We gonna be." Think about it. Like, this shit crazy, bro. This shit is wild. But yeah, man. I just want to touch on that real quick. I could probably say more. It's getting late. I need to get up in the morning. I gotta go to Howard and handle some business. Thinking about enrolling back into school, finish my degree. I don't. For the longest, I avoided it because I felt like I didn't need it. Because I was blessed enough to work in my industry before, not needing a degree. I'm going to film school. You don't really need a degree. You just need connections. I was able to get some connections really quickly and, land some jobs and stuff in DC where I was I was able to afford to stay here this whole time and not even finish school, just, do film work. But I kind of want to go back and get some more connections, if nothing else. And also just finish what I started. It's been bothering me since I haven't been back, even though I feel like I don't need it, right? I got into that school for, off a whim, just like, applying. I didn't even think I was gonna be able to get in. I took someone's spot who didn't show up, actually. They were full for the semester. Got a call like 3-4 days before school started in 2015 from an administrator saying, hey, you have a 3.9 GPA. We have a student that has withdrawn. We said we were full, but if you want the spot, we need you to get here within like 48 hours. Hauled ass to DC from North Carolina. I don't even remember how I got there. I think I rode a couple, took a couple cars with some friends. Like, I was broke as shit at the time. I ain't had money for like no bus or none of that. Made it maybe like 4 o'clock Friday evening that week before school closed for the week, and school was supposed to start that Monday. And yeah, man, got into my program, joined a bunch of film groups and shit, started getting my connections. I was working at a radio station and everything within like 3, 4 weeks of walking on that campus. I was hungry. I wasn't scared. I was fearful of like no's, I guess. That hunger supersede all that shit though. You don't even care who say no if you hungry enough. I'm out here to eat, bitch. I'm getting off topic though. I am gonna come up here and rant sometime though, so you know, if you like hearing me talk, subscribe. It's gonna look better than this next time. It's coming off my phone. I got whole cameras and everything. You know, I'm a cameraman, so yeah. This is Mind Frame Elevator. I am your Luminator, Gary Israel, signing off.